What's going on, everybody? Matt Manduke here. What I am actually doing today is repairing my kayak, which as you can see here, if you saw the unexpected outcomes video, gonna do a live stream on the back bay out here in my kayak today. This is actually, but instead of doing that, I got the kayak out in the water for just a minute, and I threw my phone in and I started getting wet. Well, I wasn't expecting this hole, and what I'm going to attempt to do is melt this down and patch it, which I need to mention that you cannot do this with the cheaper kayaks. If you get the $300 kayaks, they they're nice, they're cheap, but if you drag them too much or you get through something, you're going to end up in this predicament. But the plastic's too thin for you to be able to melt it down. In other words, it's just going to burn. So what I'm going to do is wait for that motorcycle to go by. This is a wood burner, but it can also be used as a soldering iron. I don't know for certain that I can melt the plastic with this, but I'm pretty damn sure that I can. So we're just going to melt the plastic and fill this gap. I picked this thing up at Michael's for 30 bucks with discounts and everything. I think I got it for 15. It's not a bad thing, and it wasn't a bad deal. I've only used it a couple times. I got it to make Eagle signs right after the Eagles won the playoffs. Now I think we're hot, and I cut down some of my plastic, so I cut it down a little bit. What I just want to see if I can do, oh yeah, this is melting nice. I'm just getting right in there, letting it heat up, and then I can just drag it out a little bit. Now I don't want this entire thing. I'm going to end up making this whole thing melt down. I might be able to scrape it up and smear it all over the place. Now the first time I broke this, which was a couple years ago, it takes quite a bit of beating to get it to scrape off again, because if you fill it up really nice, it happens, and the yak itself will melt too, which I try not to do that too much, but it's good for blending. So yeah, I did this a couple years ago, and like I said, it lasted a while. The first season I had it, I just drug it too much. This one, I think it's been taking wear and tear on top of the vehicle from where trees are so much lower this year. People are not maintaining their things as well, and I'm just dealing with it, you know. But I'm going to patch this really nice, and then it'll be separate, but I think I am actually going to put a metal plate on here too, just at the heel to keep it from doing this, and that'll just protect the plastic underneath. It's not going to make it waterproof or anything. That's just, like I said, make it so if I drag it a little bit, or if I go over some logs and whatnot, that I'm not ripping away at my patch, because this is going to be kind of rough when I'm done with it. And I'm going to put quite a bit of plastic into this. I want to plug this up as well as I can, because I can't have it leaking. I can't afford to have my kayak leaking. We're just cutting a piece off of this, and the hot knife is a lot easier to cut this than the regular one is. And we're just going to put it across, and we're going to melt it. It just gets in that hole, and you're just going to fill that hole up. And that's how you weld plastic. Just a quick update, I got the rest of that piece in there. I'm letting this cool off a little bit so it can harden. Most of the back is good, but I think I'm still going to put some more plastic in there. It's still, I mean, it's hard here, but it's not over there. I still got to put some here because there's a little bit of a hole there, but it's not a big deal. I have to grab my vice grip so I can tighten up the end, because that came loose, and I only used a little piece so far. So you know, I'm going to put as much as I can into it. I probably should have put something on the inside, but I think it'll be fine. So long as it's covered and it doesn't leak, it'll be fine. So I just want to give you guys the update. I'm going to finish this up, and then we'll... Alright, so now I'm just letting it cool off. That's a total patch. I know it looks a little messy, a little sloppy. I'll probably grab a lot of stuff while I'm dragging it, but it's not too bad. And it's solid, and it's actually stiffer than the plastic that it was, because I heated it up. I do want to mention that if you're going to do this, you want to find some some soft plastic. You don't want to use something that's real stiff. The stiff stuff burns, and you want something that'll melt before it burns. So I just grabbed this. It was some kind of piece of kids furniture toy thing. You could grab really anything, but you want to make sure it's that soft plastic. Something stiff, something hard is not going to work. It does harden once you got it, once you heat it up and you get it in there. But as you can see, like, it's nice and stiff. I could sand it down, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave it like it is, because I can always do this again. But I've covered all the holes. It's all patched and good to go. Now, I'm not gonna take it for a test run today, but I will do it in the next couple days for you guys. It's just gonna be a couple seconds.